Good evening and welcome to Anime-Zing Radio here at Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me, as always, is our good friends, Miss Angela Rose.
Hi, everybody.
And Mr. Darren Starling.
Who is that?
Somebody. Angela has returned from the depths of mystery. Unable to join us last week, but we had a great time talking with our friend Cheese. And you missed a good one, Ange.
Yeah.
Because somehow we ended up coming up with the scenario of William Shatner flying through the air for 30 seconds, wearing a tutu, doing the Macarena so everybody can get pictures, and then going into his Ultrarock box where you put in a quarter and get an autograph.
If it was anybody else, I would have a lot of questions, but because it is someone I know reasonably well by this point, I'm just gonna laugh.
It was quite a creative show, and it kept getting worse as we went.
I am so very not surprised. A good friend of mine had a birthday dinner, and by the time showtime rolled around and we were just getting our food served to us, so there was no in heck I was making it home on time.
Which is totally fine. I mean, we all have reasons that we end up missing shows here and there, whether it be work, illness, life in general.
Or I'm asleep.
Or sleep.
Or sleep. Sleep's important sometimes. Not sure what that is, but you know.
Yeah, I lost sight of it these past few weeks.
This coming week, I am on a train to Hagerstown that typically goes on duty, I want to say around between 10:30 and 11:30 at night. So it's an up all night train.
And there is a very real possibility I will not be here next week because I will be in Seattle at PAX West. And with the lovely thing known as time zones,
You might still be at the convention.
Exactly.
About to say that's quite the distance. First time, or you done it before?
First time in Seattle. Never actually been to PAX West before. Really looking forward to it. Not my first time on the West Coast.
That's
and definitely
cool.
Not my first time on an airplane.
So the train went out last night at 10:30 at night. So next week's show might be a shorter show if Angela is unable to make it. Due to the fact that I will probably, if it gets called for 10:30, 11, I'll get the call 8:30, 9 o'clock. Probably call it about an hour. Give myself an hour time to get to work. We do have a guest next week. Ira VT is scheduled to join us as long as everything goes okay. So we're excited about that. And then we follow Ira, a very talented VTuber, with On Key Expo, a VTuber convention that's going to be going on in Danvers, Massachusetts next year. So it'll be fun talking with them about everything that they've got going on. And so back-to-back guests. It's going to be a fun couple weeks.
Indeed.
And hello, Francisco Garcia and John Knight. Great to see everybody in the chat. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I know a lot of events happened this weekend. Pop Cult Expo I saw posts about. Anime NYC I saw posts about. I hope anybody who was able to attend the events had a great time.
Yeah, I was not really able to do any events.
I'm not going to lie. I've already been to more conventions this year than I expected to. Convention/events between the Gaming Con where I met Megan Shipman, the Comic Con where I met Bryn April, and a oddities expo where we bought rocks. Um, had our oldest daughter, and they had a bunch of like gem and rock uh, vendors there, and so my wife and oldest daughter picked out some stones that are supposedly have powers that could help them. Plus,
You've been
there's lots of
watching,
dead animals and fun stuff like that.
so you've been watching too much Rory Rocks.
Ruri Rocks. I know. I know. I kind of poked fun at it when it was first announced, but it's actually been pretty good. I've actually been enjoying it. It's something different.
Just wanted to try and make a connection there.
And it's, in my opinion, I would rather continue watching Ruri Rocks than Turkey. Sorry, Darren, but I think you understand why I'm like Turkey. It's not what I was expecting, and
I'm still stalled. This week for anime for me has been terrible because it's just been a rough week.
I'm gonna say ditto. I haven't gotten a chance to watch anything this week either.
I
I
caught up
watched
on
this.
some stuff.
I watched Dress Up Darling about an hour ago and
No,
was
we're not so
catching up
behind
on
on them.
Call of the Night. Speaking of which, Doug, are you caught up on Call of the Night?
I'm not sure.
Because
Uh,
I'm starting to play Connect the Dots.
let me see. Call of the Night.
There's 8 episodes.
Uh, then no, we are one behind.
Only one?
Only one behind. We did catch up because that's one of the shows that the wife and I are watching together. We dropped from 4 shows watching get together to 3. She kind of lost interest in Vending Machine. I'm still watching that. I did catch up on that. Call of the Night, we're one behind because a new episode dropped yesterday, and I was in a hotel all day yesterday. And then when I got home this afternoon, it was sleep for a few hours, then get up, get food, and get ready for show. I'm behind on Game Center Girl. I'm caught up. I'm one behind on Ruri Rocks because another episode of that just dropped. One behind on Dress Up Darling because that had just dropped an episode yesterday as well.
Yep, I am one behind on Dress Up Darling as well.
So wait. I'm actually ahead of y'all for once.
We caught up on Dress Up Darling during the week last week, and we did not watch anime this weekend because normally, this week has just been
One thing after another.
a little bit of a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and just as I like to put it, life, the universe, and everything.
But still, write that down that I'm actually ahead of y'all in this show for once, especially when we're all watching.
It happens from time to time, just not often.
It's enough for me to talk about.
Fair, I'll give you that one.
Yeah. Yeah, we are behind. We did not watch this week's episode of Dress Up Darling, and we are, I think, 3 behind on Toilet now. Yeah, we're 3 behind on Toilet.
Yeah, the 2 we've been keeping up with are Kaiju Dress Up Darling, and we're, I believe, 1 behind on both at this point. And John Knight's got some comments in the chat. But we'll start with him sharing birthday information. Yesterday was Justin Breener's birthday, voice of Midoriya in My Hero, a young Grisha in Attack on Titan, Arashi in Show by Rock, and Minato in
Grimgar.
Grimgar, Fantasy and Ash.
Y'all would. I'm just gonna say this. I think y'all would like Grimgar. If y'all hated Sword Art, y'all would like Grimgar.
I
And by
didn't hate.
Sword Art, I'm talking about the original.
I didn't hate Sword Art. We've been over that.
Well, Fury
Basically-
is what SAO should have been.
There we
it
go
was-
again with that nonsense.
Basically, it was the like home-hitting, realistic. This is what adventuring is. If it was real life kind of deal, no overpowered this, no overpowered that, just like a real group struggling. It was good. I'll give it that. It was good and very underrated.
John Knight also says that today is Kevin Thelwell's birthday, voice of Onima in My Hero, Carol Campbell in Spy Family, and Ren Kaji in Windbreaker. So happy birthday to them. Happy birthday to anybody whose birthday was this past week. I hope you're able to celebrate it. Happy belated birthday to Angie's friend who had the dinner last week.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of celebrities, a icon from something I think the two of you would have grown up with passed away today at 96.
Who is that?
One of the Sopranos. I don't remember which one off the top of my head.
I don't know. I didn't watch The Sopranos. I know of them, but I did not.
Yeah, it's same actually. I didn't watch it.
I just figured that was kind of y'all's eras.
Not wrong.
Yeah, that not wrong. It was the era, but I did not watch Sopranos. Come here.
Hey, Ange, you're being challenged.
Wait, why is that challenge to me? That's everybody.
I know, but you're the one that likes taking challenges head on, so I thought I'd throw you into the bus.
Convince Stone Cold to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Unfortunately, I'm out of beer, which is a downfall, but I do have the kitten. This is our latest edition, Nanachi.
That was very cute earlier today, Doug. Is that a female cat?
This is female.
Okay, so female and okay, yeah. Her and Ainz earlier was adorable.
Yeah, my wife got a picture of Nanachi laying on top of Ainz. And Nanachi had her tongue out, which was hysterical.
Gotcha.
John Knight in the chat also says that he's watched Rising of the Shield Hero Season 4, Episode 6 dub, Rent a Girlfriend Season 4, Episode 4 dub, Kaiju number 8, Season 2, 5, Episode 5 dub, and Dr. Stone Final Season Part 2, Episode 6 dub. It's ridiculous that it's gotten to the point where you have to spell out what season and what episode, and you have a medium-sized paragraph for four episodes watched.
I'm entertained that both of you sent me the same picture. And what an adorable picture it was.
So that our chat can enjoy it as well.
Go ahead.
Because who doesn't love adorable cat photos?
So that's Nanachi on top. Ein's on the bottom. Nanachi's got her tongue sticking out. She was fresh in attack mode, but my wife was able to snap a really cute picture.
Is she acclimating well to living with y'all?
She fits right in. Haru hates her.
Of course.
It's
Female cat and female cat. That's
yeah. Like Haru doesn't go out of her way to be mean to her. It's more of, okay, I understand you're not going anywhere, but stay away from me. Good evening, Ross. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in tonight and joining us. Tonight is just a night of complete and total randomness. Next week, we will probably have a condensed show due to my work schedule, and Angela will be on the West Coast at PAX West, I believe it was.
Yep.
So Angela may or may not join us due to time zones and fun stuff like that.
So
But she should be able to have a full report for us the following week as to how that con went. And then as we talk to another convention, because next week we've got Ira VT scheduled to join us as long as everything goes good. I know she'd been having problems with her internet, and so she has not been streaming much as of late, but I've been trying to tune in and keep up with her on that. And then the week after that, September 7th, we've got On Key Expo, a VTubing convention, which could be interesting. Talking with them, finding out more about what they have in store. It's always fun to see these new cons coming up and finding out information about some of these events, even if we can't make it. Ross is asking, is Angela stepping into the Twilight Zone soon? I think she's already there.
No, she's about to become a West End girl.
Hey, no Twilight Zone. Nothing out of the ordinary yet.
Although she's going to the West Coast, she'll be in her element with all the Starbucks.
At least she has coffee options, unlike when she was here.
Yeah. I'm so used to city. I'm going to be honest.
She wasn't used to having to drive everywhere.
No, I was not.
Darren is does live a little bit out of the way. It is probably quite the contrast compared to city, Boston, and stuff like that.
Well, I'll say this. I am not used to whenever I have to go into Raleigh, being able to walk around everywhere to get to everything is very convenient, but at the same time, I'd rather drive. Even if I do have to deal with idiots on the road. At least I don't have to worry about as much of getting hit by other vehicles.
In other news, we did just restart up. I found my old Discord server. So those of you on Discord, you can search for Anime-Zing Radio's server on Discord and join us. I can post a link in the chat. Feel free to join us on Discord, where we will try to keep up with all the stuff going on with the show, little news and notes, any events we may have coming up, fun tidbits, place where you can all share ideas and memes and fun stuff like that. Even if you want to start doing clips of the show and poking fun at us on the Discord server. I don't know a whole lot about Discord. That's more of Angela's realm.
kind of, sort of. I'm in multiple servers.
I'm in like 2.
Uh,
And Ross in the chat said this week an actor was unable to attend the upcoming con, so another was added. Peter Weller, who was the original RoboCop, is unable to attend. The actor who is replacing is the voice of Rex from Toy Story. It's cool if they were able to find a backup. Sometimes it's tough to do that. Thank you, John. John Knight says he just joined our Discord. That's awesome. Look forward to everybody who pops in, and we will try to be communicating with people through that realm as well. I'm still trying to relearn it because things have changed since I don't think I've used a Discord in 5-6 years at least. It's been a while. I might have to take lessons from Angela on exactly how to find things and do stuff. But that's a problem for another time.
that is a later problem.
So, Darren, you said you are caught up on stuff. Is it weird to say that you're caught up on stuff before me and Angela and be like, well, now I can't talk about it?
Yeah, I gotta keep things quiet on 2 particular shows. One to you, and the other to both of you.
I will say this season has had some interesting shows. It's had some of your, mediocre shows. Some of the isekais, scooped up by an S-rank adventure has been good, not fantastic.
Hello, Mario. Good to see you in the chat. And apparently this week did not have a new dubbed episode of Hanako. No idea why.
Yeah, I saw an article that people were really not happy with Crunchyroll because of delays in episodes with no explanation or announcement.
Yeah, I mean, some of that may be stuff going on with Crunchyroll. Some of that could be, not getting the media from Japan in time, or.
And Doug, speaking of S-rank adventure, Yui is still Ross's favorite. And thank you. And Mario has just joined the Discord server as well.
Thank you, Mario. I'm actually watching Hanako subtitled, just to keep up on stuff. There's quite a few shows that I will probably go back and rewatch once it's completed in dub, because some of it's just more enjoyable to watch in the big chunks when I can. Vending Machine is still been pretty good. I think season 2 still better than season 1, but it's not like, oh my god, this is the best anime of the season. I'm not sure what I would put as best anime of the season at the moment. Call of the Night is up there. Dress Up Darling is. Call of the Night is in contention for best show that I'm watching of the season. Like I said, Dress Up Darling is an honorable mention, and Ruri Rocks has actually been, if you are into gems,
a hidden gem.
I mean, it kind of is a hidden gem. I know I mentioned it before, but like this right here is a rose quartz turtle. I have always been interested in gems and things like that. Never like taken the time to go search for them. This show does a really good job at. It's another anime that's up my alley because it takes a niche topic and kind of delves into information deeper than what you would normally expect. Plus the fact that this summer I've gone to multiple caves now. It kind of is fitting that there's an anime called Ruby Rocks.
I would have to say, go ahead.
I was gonna say you weren't here last weekend when I was talking a little bit about it, but we found there's a cave in Pennsylvania called Penn's Cave, and it's I believe one of the only caves, or I think it's the only cave in Massachusetts that you go through it on a boat tour. It's a full boat tour. It takes about an hour to go through, and then there's a wildlife sanctuary attached to it.
Well, all right.
It was actually really, really nice. I would recommend it to anybody if you come to Pennsylvania. I think it's like Central PA area. Definitely go check it out. And the wildlife tour was actually pretty good as well. They had wolves and foxes, saw longhorns, deer. If you like wild animals and stuff like that, it was a great time. Went with the kids; they had a blast. Evie wants to go back. So if you can impress a 7-year-old, then you know it's got to be pretty good. So again, hello to everybody out there tuning in. Mario, it's great to see you in here. What shows have you been watching? I know that Mario pops in when he can. Sometimes his work prevents him from doing so, but what shows have you been keeping up with, Mario?
So, really quick question. Am I the only one among fans and us alike that has seen any of Fragrant Flower? Because
Awesome.
it's behind the Netflix.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. And aside from this week's episode, are you caught up on Sakamoto?
No, Sakamoto. We ended up that's one where basically I think we're at the stage of gonna wait and binge. Ross in the chat says favorite anime of the season for him is Tough. Some shows are starting to feel okay now, like Cuckoos and Darling and Call of the Night. And Gamer Girl because last week was a recap and today Lily ...
I mean, this. Oh, go ahead, Darren.
No, my nose is driving me nuts.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it's been like I think we're running into the issue, and we talk about it quite a bit on the show here, that there is just so much media out there that it's tough to find the really, really good shows. I think that's what makes us appreciate a show like Apothecary Diaries that much more. When you can find a show that just can fit any, like Apothecary Diaries, I feel could fit anybody's interest. I think anybody could really enjoy the show. It's very well written. The characters are likable. It's a good storyline. You've got the hint of romance. You've got mystery. You've got some action. It's just a good melting pot of stuff in that. And like I said, my oldest daughter binged it in 4 days.
Ross continues his thought. Lily didn't speak much English into today's episode. It's tough to pick, but I think his top 3 would be S Rank Adventure, Betrothed to Sisters X, and Solo Camping for 2.
S Rank Adventure is the only one of the three that I'm watching. That you mentioned, Ross. I don't think Angela's watching any.
Nope.
And I don't think Darren's watching any of those three.
I don't know. I thought Darren said something about watching Betrothed to Sister's X, or at the very least, that was on his radar at one point.
I didn't think that was this season.
But that is, I mean, I've heard good things about all of them. Like I said, S Rank Adventure has been entertaining. It's just kind of, it just feels like another isekai. And I don't even think it is an isekai. It just has that feel. And I think that it's come to the point of so many like adventuring party animes that have dropped over the last few years that they all just kind of feel like they're running together. Granted, some different things happen, but it falls into the cookie cutter genre, not just like isekai, but we got another overpowered adventurer who was banished from a party, picked up by another party. And we've seen quite a few animes like that. One of my coworkers has really been talking up Ugly Mug Epic Fighter. I don't know if that's one that I want to watch or not. He suggests that it's been a really good one. Is anybody out there watching that one?
Are you? Have you mentioned the one about the prince yet?
Seventh Prince.
Yes.
I am watching Seventh Prince. That has been okay. I don't know if my tastes are changing just because of watching so much stuff, but like season 1 was good. It's still tough to get past the art style of how they drew the Seventh Prince. Like the art style for the main character alone is a bit on the weird side. The storyline's been decent, but I'll probably finish that one. Like I said, I kind of fell away from Turkey. Had family up for 2 weeks, so that put us behind on everything. As everybody knows, sometimes life gets in the way and it's easy to get behind on stuff, and then it's tough to play catch up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to catch up on some stuff while stuck in hotels this past week, and this coming week I'll try to catch up on stuff again when I'm on the road, but
nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah, nothing's guaranteed. What about you, Ange? What's been your favorite show of the season that you've been able to watch?
Like I said, the two shows I'm caught up with or mostly caught up with, I should say, are Dress Up Darling and Kaiju 8, both of which are on season 2 and both of which are living up to expectations. So there's that.
Are they exceeding like they did in the first season, or no?
I'm gonna say no. Dress Up Darling is absolutely fantastic. Anyone who tries to say otherwise is wrong. I will actually take that.
I know I'm one episode behind on Dress Up Darling, but I think it's kind of cute how Gojo is starting to realize he is getting feelings for Marin. And Marin already knows she has feelings for him.
Yeah,
I still loved episode 1 of season 2 when the friend was just like, "Are you guys dating?"
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
In the chat, Ross says, to answer Darren's question on Flower Me, and Angela talked about it last week, we're still waiting on Netflix Jail. And when it releases one episode each week, does it count as a summer anime when summer animes end? So no, Darren, I have not seen Flower.
Okay, so I'm the only one that's seen Fragrant Flower. Okay.
I'm not opposed to
And I'm
watching
not-
it. I just have I forget about it because of life, and B, I don't have any. It's not available on any of the current platforms that I subscribe to. Plus, if it's a Netflix one, there's a good chance that I probably won't watch it on Netflix anyway because I don't really watch Netflix at all. And now it was an interesting question you raised there, Darren, asking, is season 2 of Dress Up Darling living up to what season 1 was? And I'm kind of with Angela. I don't think it has the same impact as season 1, but I also don't think that. Yeah, I think there's enough time that it could drop the bombshell that makes it equal to or better than season 1. Feels like the storyline is going in the way. Like I know there was a lot of spoilers between seasons 1 and 2, so a lot of people know what's coming. It's just curious to see how the anime does it leading into leading through season 2. And I'm curious to see if it has the same effect as it did from the source material.
Isekai news, Doug. Farming Life in Another World is getting a season 2 at some point in 2026.
I did see that. I am excited for that. That was a decent one. Another farming isekai anime. Again, cookie cutter stuff. Just
I'll give you a hard time because, and you guys give me a hard time about the shonen, and I give you guys a hard time about the
isekais.
isekais. But at the end of the day, there's so much anime that is very cookie cutter. And I'll agree, it's shonen as well falls into a lot of tropes and a lot of the same, both good things and pitfalls. But they're in everything in a lot of media these days, not just anime. There's just so much that's so almost repetitive. Nothing is original anymore.
I think that's media as a whole.
Yep.
That could be one reason why I've kind of been enjoying Ruri Rocks. It seems like every season I find that oddball anime that's actually been pretty good, and it's a little bit off the wall.
And and for me, yeah, and there's a lot of time. I actually really enjoy taking things that I've consumed in one form of media and then watching the adaptation into a different one. Sometimes that's really awesome, sometimes it's not.
Yeah. And hello to Pluta and Kiyoshi Game Playing Idiots and Sharka. It's great to see you guys in here. I hope that you are doing well, had a good week. It's always great for when Sharka can come in. I know you're not able to make it every week, but we always love seeing you in here. Really means a lot to all of our awesome viewers who tune in.
Plutia and Kiyoshi and Kuishi comment that animes on Netflix have been hit or miss for them, so they rarely use it. And that's fair. On my Netflix watch list, there is a decent amount of anime, but I haven't gotten around to watching a lot of it.
Yes, you're coming and saying hello again. This is what prevents you from attacking your brother who's trying to sleep on the couch.
Speaking of anime and whatnot, did you guys all see that Crunchyroll has a deal with one of the airlines to have Crunchyroll on as a part of in-flight entertainment?
I did see that with Delta, I believe it was.
I think you're right,
You are correct.
but what are people's thoughts on that?
I think it's neat to have the option. I think that goes to show that anime has become mainstream enough that bigger corporations are taking note of it and taking advantage of it. I also think because Crunchyroll is under the Sony nameplate, that has a lot to do with it. I think if Crunchyroll was still its own individual identity, or if it was still Funimation, you may not have ever seen that happen. I think because of the merger with, or the incorporation with Sony, anime has, or at least Crunchyroll as a brand, has been able to branch out into a much wider audience and be like put out there for everybody to notice. They had that deal for a while with Walmart where they had a small Crunchyroll sections and stuff like that.
And Ross says,
sorry, I've noticed that's basically ended with Walmart because when I go into at least to my local Walmart, their DVD and Blu-ray section is practically non-existent anymore.
Same up here.
I haven't been to a Walmart in I don't know how many years.
Well, I don't necessarily go in there either. I just happened to check it out while I was in there the other day. I'm like, damn, this selection sucks.
Ross says, considering they laid off 1,000 employees the next day, I think the company might be in trouble.
Which company? Delta?
Crunchyroll.
Oh.
I did see an article about that, and it was the 1,000 employees is a worldwide number, not just U.S. They laid off, and the irony is they laid off 1,000 people, but in the same article, it also said that there's like 100 new positions that has opened up in the U.S. for Crunchyroll. So I'm wondering if it's like country based as to, okay, it's not doing as good in one country, so they're laying off people that are associated with getting media to country XYZ, but because it's doing good in ABC, we have more jobs for these people. So
I guess I'm more impressed that they were actually able to have an employee registrar that long, considering they started off as a simple illegal site. I'm just amazed that they were able to grow to the lengths they have and employ that many people.
Just as long as they don't end up screwing up like the shoujo.
I mean, but Darren, Twitch started out the same way.
Twitch was illegal?
Twitch, if I remember correctly, Justin TV is what Twitch became, or is what the precursor to Twitch was.
I think you're right.
And that's a site I used to stream a lot of sporting events from.
Personally, I've never used Twitch.
And Ross says with Crunchyroll teaming up with Delta, he's predicting lawsuits because of some of the fan service anime being shown on the plane.
But your next, I don't foresee that happening. Honestly, I think most will be laughed off.
Because of, you know, looking at it, you know, talk about the fan service side of anime. There are movies that show a lot more stuff than anime does, and that stuff still gets shown on airlines.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, it's in PG movies and PG-13 movies, and anime is more times than not at that point rated 17 plus. But you got stuff being shown on regular TV as a PG.
And Angela, you are correct. Twitch is derived from Justin TV. Justin TV did turn into Twitch. I was curious, so I looked that up.
Yeah.
And we do broadcast on Twitch as well.
Goes to show you the evolution of online entertainment.
We're at a day and age where people get more entertainment from online than they do like cable and satellite, it feels like.
Yep.
Partially because it's cheaper.
Now that's becoming less and less true. Oh my God. And to prove that point, I literally picked up my phone to check the score of the Sox-Yankees game.
Do I want to know?
No, you don't.
Is it payback for yesterday?
Yes.
Well, there's still time. It's only top of the sixth. Besides, the Red Sox have already won the series. They took the first 3 games, so.
Yeah, but this matters for the wild card spot. Actually, I don't know that it does because
I think the Red Sox have a game and a half lead over the Yankees because of their win yesterday. So
I think you're correct, and I think it boils down to it's going to come down to who's playing or who's playing where.
Yeah.
But
AZR sports moment.
I'm from Boston. That's really all that needs to be said there.
I mean, I was able to. Part of the reason I didn't watch a ton of anime in the hotel yesterday, I slept most of the day, and then when I woke up, it was about 20 laps into the second stage of the NASCAR Cup race at Daytona. So of course I watched that. Which, congratulations to Ryan Blaney, who gained 12 spots in 2 laps to pick up the win in a 4-wide finish at the line.
And Ross says, since Doug brought up cable, time for a question. Before streaming, back when cable was being used, what was your favorite cable show back in the day?
Oh, good God.
I never had cable. Ever.
I have to ask what era.
Yeah, I think I'm at that point of
80s, 90s, early 2000s, and then I stopped. Once I moved out of my parents' house, I didn't have cable very often after that because I just couldn't afford it. And got most of my entertainment from like YouTube.
See, for me, it was I had cable pretty much until I got divorced. And then once I got resettled, it became online or it became streaming services after that.
He says
Um,
free random pick.
You know, most of what I watched on cable, was Food Network and sports.
I watched a lot of sports. Back in the 80s, I watched some sitcom stuff.
I
Things
didn't
like
have
Cheers, Roseanne,
I
Cosby Show.
I
Those were
didn't
shows
have
I enjoyed watching
I
growing
didn't
up.
have cable until the 90s.
And then I would say probably when the ghost hunting phase. We talk about different phases in anime where you have a bunch of shows of one type that came out. There for a while, you had Ghost Hunters, Ghost Hunters International, Paranormal State.
And Ross is saying for him it's Secret World of Alex Mack, which I've seen episodes of, and Clarissa Explains It All, which I've seen episodes of.
I've seen
Uh,
episodes of Clarissa Explains It All.
Yeah, no, for me it was a lot of I didn't watch a lot of cable. I watched a little like bits and pieces here and there. I mean, there was an era when I watched G4, so a fair amount of the import stuff like the original Ninja Warrior, stuff like that.
Wipeout was always fun too.
Oh yeah. The original, not the reboot.
And then yeah, I watched a lot of sports, a fair amount of movies.
What was everybody's favorite cartoon? Not an anime, but cartoon growing up.
I didn't watch more than a few episodes of any.
Let's see. I didn't really have a whole lot of cartoons I watched because I was a PBS kid for not having cable, and then I was limited to what I could see on cartoons because I had the CW, and then I had stuff they decided to show on ABC, and that was literally it. So my cartoons were limited. But going back, maybe Shaolin Showdown. Most memorable.
I think for me growing up, like my favorite cartoon, I think was Danger Mouse on Nickelodeon. But I also enjoyed like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Sharka says favorite cartoon growing up was Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi. And Ross says, I'm going to pick Doug's Gilligan Island Monsters or I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh, he's trying to say what shows were my favorites growing up. I didn't watch Monsters. Gilligan's Island was okay, and I Dream of Jeannie I didn't really watch. A lot of those, in all honesty, were before my time. So when I was watching them, it was all reruns.
I mean, I've seen my share of I Love Lucy and shows like that on Nick at Night, but that
Three
wasn't
Stooges.
those weren't shows I necessarily chose so much as I happened to be in the room when they were on. But, Ross, I gotta give you credit for the amount of well thought out questions these days.
Plutia and Koishi game-playing idiots say for them, it's Lego Ninjago. Grew up watching it and still watch it. Plus, it's ongoing to this day. That's cool. I don't know. Lego Ninjago. I don't think I know that one.
I've heard of it. It's not something I've watched.
And when I was with my ex-wife, one of the cartoons that was on TV frequently for her son was Phineas and Ferb, and that was actually an enjoyable one. Have you ever seen any of that?
Nope.
I think at its time, Phineas and Ferb was as enjoyable for even adults as like Bluey is now. Bluey's enjoyable. Bluey is enjoyable.
Sorry. Phineas and Ferb is one of those that will never die, and I'm very glad that they came back with another season.
You were a Phineas and Ferb kid?
Nope, but I was a Phineas and Ferb teen, and guess what?
Now you're a
Bye-bye,
Phineas and Ferb adult.
pretty much. It was one every now and then, just like Bluey, they'll put out a show made for kids, and then the teens will happen to see it, realize it's actually good, and then it's their show now as well.
Like SpongeBob.
I hate SpongeBob with a passion.
As do I. Both of my sisters were obsessed with it.
I heard season 1 was actually targeted more towards adults. Just like Sesame Street was originally supposed to be for adults.
As was the original Looney Tunes cartoons. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Elmer Fudd. That was geared more towards adults at the time that it was aired as well.
Oh, I know.
Which is why there's a lot of smoking and guns and, a lot of adult topics that appear in those early cartoons.
And a lot of innuendos.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Popeye had some episodes that I'm sure would either be considered banned nowadays, because during World War II, it was him versus the Japanese, him versus the Germans. They were always making fun of him because, I mean, naturally, in the middle of a war, you're trying to portray your enemy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, think that to your emperor.
I think that's one thing that gets lost in today's cancel culture attitude is the stuff that came out years ago that people are finding offensive now. You've got to take a moment and realize what state was the world in when this stuff was originally coming out. As Darren just mentioned, putting out episodes during a war against certain countries where you are poking fun at said countries because you're in a war. At the time, nobody thinks about, what is going to happen 50 years from then and stuff like that.
Yeah, who would have thought Japan would have become our main source of entertainment?
And circling back to cancel culture and all that, I mean, you can't make a Mel Brooks movie today.
No, you can't make a Ghost Stories today either.
I mean, Blazing Saddles is a movie that is a product of its time. It is hilarious.
Now, even like the fact that they were trying to make was it a second Spaceballs movie?
Yep.
It's like, is he going to be able to do in this one what he did in the original? I hope so.
I hope so, but I have my doubts.
I just hope that it doesn't get nerfed. My biggest prayer is that he knowing that he is up there in age, that he stays with us long enough to see it to its completion and it airing.
Agreed.
That is, above all else, like the biggest hope. Because we are at that time in our lives where a lot of the entertainers that we grew up watching or listening to, unfortunately, health issues or father time has brought them to an end. And there's a WWE match happening on my stairs right now between Ainz and Nanachi. So apologies if you can hear hissing and a cat fight going on. You're getting serious up there. Ross says, and yet, Angela, they made Blazing Saddles into today's time, but in an animation movie called Paws of Fury.
That's kind of the point, is you can't make it the way that it was then.
And Mel Brooks was the one who made it and
Yeah.
was in it as the voice of a cat. Speaking of old movies, I should go back and rewatch. I'm curious to see if this movie still has the same effect now that I'm 47 as it did when I was a kid growing up. It was my favorite movie growing up. I burned through 2 or 3 VHS tapes because I watched it so much. Never Ending Story. Does that still hit now like it did back then? I'm curious. We talk about that all the time with animes and stuff like that. When you go back and rewatch shows that first got you in, Inuyasha at the time that it came out was amazing. I went back multiple times to try to rewatch it. I'm like, this isn't. I think it's more just the nostalgia feel. It's not as good as I remember, but at the time it was amazing, and I was like hooked on it. So I'm curious about if other media going back and watching some of the old stuff still hits the same. We were talking about, my wife and I were talking about that when her oldest daughter was up. I think next time they come up, we might try to show her Neverending Story, see if she enjoys it. Movies were just so much different back then, too.
Yup, agreed.
I think the fact that they weren't as widely available also enhanced the experience.
Yeah.
And also, a large majority of the time, actually having to go to a theater to watch them, a more immersive experience.
I can remember as a kid going to movie theaters all the time because there was one that was walking distance from my house growing up. So it wasn't uncommon for me to take my allowance, go to the movie theater with like $5. You could go watch a movie, get some snacks, and they had an arcade set up in there, so you could even play some games for a while.
Oh, you mean you could actually afford popcorn back then?
Yeah.
Yup.
Now I don't even think popcorn is $5.
I don't know.
Movie theater in a couple of years.
Let me put it this way. Most of the movie theaters around here, you're lucky if you're getting a ticket with taxes and fees for purchasing online. You're lucky if you're getting in for much under 20.
And personally, the whole convenience fee for booking online kills me.
Oh, I'm not disputing.
I know you're not. I'm just throwing that out there that's absolutely asinine.
Agreed. Or it's places like Alamo Drafthouse where the tickets are like 13, 14 bucks, but it's food, and but it's you order food at the theater and then that's where they get you.
Yeah.
Because the food, well, decent, it's expensive.
You know, and one of
What?
the places we have around here.
Good night, Roberto.
Yeah,
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 we're leaving the
that was
house.
very much brought up last week.
Wait, what was?
Roberto.
Ah, oh, of course it was, because you had on our friend Cheese.
And you weren't there, so she was disappointed that there's gonna be no Roberto sightings.
Nope, he just went to bed because because we are leaving the house at 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh,
Lovely.
fun.
So you
7
get to
a.m.
be up
flight.
with, so you get to be up with me.
Yeah, that's normal. Ross says, I might be the only one who in the 90s saw the movie Star Kid on rented VHS. I don't remember what this movie.
I don't remember hearing about that one. But then
Star
again,
Kid.
in the 90s, the oldest I was 3.
When the
Garen's a
90s
baby.
started, I turned 10.
I
Yeah,
turned 12.
so you turned 16 right as I was born. So you were getting your license when I was born.
Who, me or Angela?
Angela.
I got my license in 1999.
Oh, never mind. I was born in 96.
Okay, so I got my license when you were born.
And Darren, I started high school the year you were born.
I thought you said at the start of the 90s you turned 10.
I was born in 1981.
Okay, so at the start of the 90s you turned 9.
I was off by a year.
And I was 78. Just missing the blizzard.
Okay, so you
My
were
poor,
14.
my poor mother had to carry me at like 7 months through the blizzard of 78 in New England.
Uh,
So you were 14 years younger than my dad.
and yeah, no, my parents have stories about the blizzard of 78.
Ross says that he is 10 years younger than you, Ange.
Yep.
So he's 5 years older than me, which I think we discussed already.
Yeah, you're the only one that's actually gotten a chance to meet Ross in person, which is really, really cool. I'm glad that things worked out that you guys were able to meet. Darren's just the focal point. Everybody just goes to him.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm kind of in the middle here.
I've gone down to Darren. Angela's gone to Darren. Ross went to Darren. Now John's got to find his way over there.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, isn't John closer to than Ross?
I'm not sure.
I could have sworn
If
I've heard something along the lines of Virginia.
that I thought John said Virginia, but I could be mistaken.
Excuse me.
And then we got to get
Virginia
Mario
was
over
like,
here. Mario's got to come from the UK.
Or the next time, or at some point if when I go back to London.
You guys can meet up and have a whole AOT BS session.
I maintain, and I've had this conversation with multiple people recently, that seasons 1 through 3 is worthy of a top 10 list. The final season, in all of its parts, is hot garbage.
Isn't it funny how stuff like that can happen? You can be watching a show and it's just so good, and it's like, oh, the show feels so epic and everything's going great, and then
It just goes completely off the rails to the point of F this, I'm done.
yeah,
Not really, but Darling in the Frank last two episodes ruined the whole series for many people.
oh yeah, they rushed that ending so hard. They could have probably made a second season out of that.
That's the most
Yup.
recent example I have.
Ross, I will 100% agree with you on that one.
Ross says yes, heroes.
Yup. That although that would heroes after season 1 being garbage is 100% because of the writer's strike of that year.
No idea what that show is.
It's basically very selected people get special powers. I assume you may or may not be familiar with the meme "Save the cheerleader, save the world."
Nope.
I don't know that one either.
Heroes season 1 and part of season 2 was really good, and then the writer's strike happened and it went to garbage. They tried a reboot and it failed.
Sometimes when things just start going downhill, it's unsavable.
But that was one of my favorite. And Ross, I drove a Nissan Versa for years.
You drove the brother car.
But no, there was basically one of my favorite characters from the show was he basically could teleport. That was his ability, and he teleported from your generic office salary man in Tokyo to the middle of New York City. And that was just I missed that show. I wanted that show to be good. Or I wanted the rest of it to be good. It got really bad and went off the rails. Yes.
You mean like this show?
Yup. Yes, I do.
This show is bad and goes off the rails. Well, we
The
definitely go off
show
the rails.
we go off the rails all the time. What are you talking about?
Oh, I know. I'm not saying it's the worst show. Off the rails, I agree with.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Which anime universe would be the worst to live in?
There's a lot of answers to that one.
Yep.
Trying to think of the stuff I've seen. What would be the worst?
Well, for you, maybe World's in Harem when there's only 4 guys left on the planet.
I forgot about that show. I started it and then just kind of lost interest.
Let's see.
I mean something like living in a world that's constantly at war, or like turmoil and destruction and stuff like that. Like, I don't think I would want to be in a world of like Attack on Titan or SAO as a concept is kind of a neat one, but at the same point in time, if you die in the game, you die in real life. I don't know if I'd want to be stuck in that world either. But Fury could be fun.
I'm trying to think of the worst story settings in anime that I've seen.
Ross says worst anime he would have to say is Shars Markson.
Hold on.
I don't even know. I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Same.
Oh, I have.
No idea. Now that I think about it,
I think it's a World War II-ish.
That's another good. That's a really good, thought-provoking question, John. Thank you. That's what's great about our fans. They pop in with these thought-provoking questions, and we're like, I don't know.
How can we make them stutter today? How can we make them think today? How can we make them go after each other today?
That's another thing we do just fine on our own.
Let's see. The Mirai Nikki universe, depending on what part. Let's see.
All right.
What if we flip it? Which anime universe would you want to live in? Is there a world that you would want to be a part of?
Too many choices.
Agreed. I mean,
and I'm trying to think objectively, not just because you like the show, but the world inside of the show. Is it a world that you would want to live in? Not as like a main character, but just to be in that world. So it's like, take your favorite shows, take the characters out of it, the world that they live in, what's going on in that time frame. Where would you want to go? So it's a little bit deeper than, oh, well, I like DxD, so I'd want to live in that world to, be a part of, Rias's group, or, just using that as an example, take that bias out of it. What world would you want to live in?
I'm still thinking of the one I wouldn't want to live in, because that's a harder choice. Can't answer that one because I've never seen it. Maybe Death Parade?
I'm trying to think on the would not want. Like I said, Attack on Titan is probably a world that I wouldn't want to live in.
I will agree with that, but I don't think that's necessarily my worst.
I don't know if it's the worst, but it's definitely one I wouldn't want to live in.
Now, hear me out. Cowboy Bebop. Because of how much time they spend on the ship with no gas, no money, no food, and just being stuck.
What about something like? What was that, Darren?
I got a world for you.
Okay.
Interspecies reviewers.
That would definitely be. I don't know if that's the worst.
Agreed. I don't know if that's the worst, but that would be freaking weird.
But I don't know if that would be my first choice to go to either.
Exactly.
What about what about something along the lines of like Soul Eater? That was kind of a weird world to live in. Great show. I just don't know if I would want to live in that world.
Well, it was mostly normal to an extent. Just the supernatural was more commonplace, I guess.
I mean, or something like Drifters, where basically the entire thing was set in purgatory.
And that's why I said Death Parade, because this show is set in the afterlife. You have two people that meet, they both died, they play a game to see if they go to hell or heaven based on their actions during the game. The person there decides based on their actions throughout the game, are they a good person or a bad person? Hell, if they're a bad person, they go to hell, and if they're a good person, they get sent up for reincarnation. It's a very
Also known as
interesting show.
isekai. So if they're good, they get isekai'd, and
I don't think this is considered isekai because there's only one world in this particular story, so it's the world we live in.
talking about reincarnation, I was watching a little bit of the newest Trash Taste podcast, and apparently there's I'm not sure if it's been made into an anime yet or not, but they were talking about a storyline of my wife was reincarnated into a grade school student.
Yes, no, there's an anime for that.
That was the
Basically,
first I'd heard about it. The title sounds horrible, but when they described what happens in the show,
it's a
it
wholesome
sounds
show.
very wholesome.
It is. I haven't seen it, but I've seen enough of the clips and read enough of the synopsis and heard my friends talk about it. Well, friends, I say friends, they're my coworkers, employees, however you want to phrase it, but it's a good show. It allows her to reconnect with her husband and the rest of the family.
And from what the way that I think it was Gigik who was talking about it, put it, the man's wife passes away, comes back as a grade school student. The husband
retains all her memories.
hangs on to the memories and is having a hard time at continuing on with life until he meets this grade schooler whose soul is, I don't think he knows that it's his wife's soul that's in this child, who then tries to help him get his life back on track. And so it's a real wholesome anime in and of itself. Just the title would turn a lot of people off. I'm sure like Amja, if you saw that title, you'd be like, nope, not for me. But knowing it's kind of a wholesome story of just trying to reconnect with a loved one, even though they're in a different form, and trying to help them cope and move on with their lives. It's kind of a neat little story. It makes you wonder how many other shows out there that are like that, just we don't give a chance because of the way the title is or something like that.
But when there's so many options to choose from, we all have the things that we will gravitate towards first.
Oh, yeah. That's why I've tried to make it a point over the last year or so to try to pick shows that I normally wouldn't watch. And I think I've done a decent job. What?
Yeah, you still haven't finished Goblin Slayer.
Finish Goblin Slayer, for crying out loud.
It's on my list. Just like Angela says, it's on the list.
Oh, God. No. I could have picked something. I could have picked an actual overrated shonen. I didn't. I picked something I thought there was a chance you'd enjoy if you could get past the first couple episodes.
I will get to it.
All you need?
What, Darren?
A sister's all you need?
That was a good show.
I know, but she said get past the first couple episodes. Don't forget, the very first 3 minutes of that show are a
Yeah.
ride of its own.
Agreed. But the point was, I purposely didn't pick something extremely overrated. I could have.
Oh, you just wanted
Angel
to
Beats
pick-
was another one you had to get past the first episode to really get into the heart of the story.
So, in other words, you want to go into the My Hero world. Okay, Ange.
You both have seen enough of My Hero. I don't even argue that it's overrated.
Deku is still a bitch.
And I don't even argue that. Deku is far from the best character of that show.
I'd have to say of all the characters, I think I liked Froppy the most. Sui.
I like the one from the movie, the daughter of the president or something or another. Do you know who I'm talking about, Ange?
Oh,
The
kind of.
blonde hair. I think she was blonde with glasses.
Yeah, I remember the character.
I would say that's my favorite, and aside from Toga.
I like Toga too.
Toga
Ross says Rebecca.
Yes, Rebecca. Thank
and
you. Which is
Toga
ironic.
and Toga actually gets more story time. Like, you actually get a lot more of her story later on. But
It's kind of ironic that My Hero picked the design for Rebecca in that sense, considering Yu-Gi-Oh did it way back when with Rebecca Hawkins.
Silence.
But no,
So-
at some point we should do another bit where we watch. I mean, we've all kind of started watching shows not in our normal wheelhouse.
Let's see here.
And I got one for you.
Oh,
Yeah, Doug.
Yeah.
Chime in with me on this one. You ready?
Okay, what do you got?
Kiss Exis.
I have not watched that in forever.
why do I have
I think that's a show that has more OVAs than it does regular season episodes.
why do I have a feeling that's something that would just make me angry?
It might, but it might not.
Now let's go back.
Okay, I'm
Well,
looking through.
To be honest, if we were to go that route, you'd probably be better off with the To Love Ru series, considering you'd probably be able to at least tolerate that. What do you think, Doug?
I think there's a chance that she would enjoy To Love Ru more than Kiss Exis. But I think either choice she would beat our butts.
But Momo, Yami, Darkness.
Darkness was a good character.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said Yami. Tearju. Let's see. Then Lala.
John Knight in the chat says Aniplex Online Fest 2025 is coming September 13th.
Aniplex on Last Find? I don't even think I've ever heard of that. Aniplex Online Fest.
I'm waiting. That reminds me, when is Bunko Fest this year? think it's October.
I see. That says 2024. Let's see 2025.
2025, it will be held on September 13th at 5 p.m. Japan Standard Time, which would be 1 a.m. Pacific. And it's on their YouTube channel. And
lineup, I see there's something called Dark Moon, Global Highlights. My Dress Up Darling is shown here. Some stuff I don't recognize. Actually, a lot of stuff I don't recognize. Fate.
What about the Fate series?
Fate is going to be a part of that Aniplex. Fate, Strange, Fake.
They're just milking the Type Moon series at this point.
Something. The first thing listed is something from Blue Exorcist. Yomi no Sugai, which is something from the studios involved include Square Enix and Bones. Going through
That
these.
Blue Exorcist thing looks like it's a game. Alterna Velt.
Yeah, that's Blue Exorcist. Dark Moon, which then okay, why won't you give me this in English?
They don't want to.
Mikadono? This one didn't translate. And then that logo looks like Demon Slayer.
So that could be something interesting if I'm around to watch it.
Yep, this is a Demon Slayer, some kind of Demon Slayer thing.
Oh, Darren, I think I told you that there's a GalaxyCon coming to the Philly area, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Ironically, it's the same weekend as the show my wife is doing.
So you won't be there.
Depending on funds. We've already talked about it. There's a chance that we could do the her show on Saturday and then still try to make the con on Sunday because it's only an hour away. Not sure what we're going to have for money to be able to go, if it's going to be feasible. Some of the guests include big names like Max Middleman's going to be there, Zach Aguilar, Lucy Christian, Justin Briner, speaking of Deku, Colleen Klinkenbeard, Tara Strong, Sarah Natacheni, Darren's favorite, Jamie Markey.
Mm-hmm.
Brittany Karbowski's going to be there, Brandon McInnes and J. Michael Tatum. Clifford Chapin's going to be there. Justin Cook, Kristen McGuire, Robbie Damon, and Ray Chase. Oh, speaking of Phineas and Ferb, Vincent Martella and David Arrigo Jr. are going to be there. So Phineas and Ferb's voice actors.
And speaking of My Hero, the final season starts in October.
And then it looks like they also have most of the cast of Has Been Hotel is going to be there as well. I see Charlie. I see a Radio Demon. I see Angel Dust. So they got quite a variety of people that are going to be there. Featured creators also include Cyanide and Happiness are going to be there.
Not my jam, but that's actually pretty big.
I got to meet the creators of Cyanide and Happiness at Kineticon years ago. We did a press conference with them. And knowing where this is going to be, like I said, it's about an hour from me. And I've already been at that venue 4 times since I moved to PA. For 4 different events. We had a horror con last year, and then this year we had the gaming con, a comic con, and a oddities expo.
And I will be at the Philadelphia Convention Center in November.
Playing with stuff that's unplugged.
Yep.
And maybe we can try to meet up to hang out for a little bit if scheduling allows. As we all know, my schedule is so all over the place because of the railroad.
Yep.
I never know what I'm going to be on from week to week until literally a little over a day and a half before.
Oh, excuse me.
And I know you just mentioned it. My Hero Academia final season is coming up. Are you excited for that?
I am. Honestly, I am excited, but at the same time, because of the disappointment that was the end of Attack on Titan, I'm honestly afraid the ending of My Hero is going to be that level of letdown. I don't actually think it will be.
You don't think it will be, but the worry is there because Attack on Titan was so up here, and then it ended, being flushed down a toilet.
Pretty much.
I mean, My Hero, and I've said this all along, I give the creators of the My Hero universe all the credit in the world. The fact that they could come up with so many different and unique quirks for, we're not just talking a handful of characters. We're talking hundreds of people having different quirks. That's amazing brain power right there. That's more creativity than I could have ever thought of. And everyone is unique in some way, shape, or form. I just got tired of seeing a storyline, and it sounds weird coming from an isekai guy, but I got tired of seeing the same storyline being repeated over and over and over again by the same main group of people. Where isekai, it's the same idea, but it's always a different cast. And I think that's the one thing that turns me off to shonen in general is there's Fairy Tail started off fantastic. It was a great show. But once I started seeing a loop and the same stuff kind of happening over and over and over again, I kind of got tired and was like, well, there's a lot of other options. And so I'm going to venture off, here, there. I've never once said that shows like My Hero or Fairy Tail were bad. I just called them overrated. which a lot of people will agree that they are overrated. That doesn't mean they're a terrible show. School Days was a terrible show. Conception was a terrible show. I will not put My Hero or Demon Slayer or Fairy Tail in the same category as any of those.
Aiken was a terrible show. Even though I heard the manga is really cute.
I think it also just comes down to what our tastes are. And as we've said, over time, our tastes have changed on certain things.
Yeah. And John Knight says, My Hero Academia used to be a happy anime, and he's right. There were definitely some very dark storylines that came up at one point.
Here's an interesting thought. And this was something that was touched on in a recent Trash Taste episode as well. So stealing, their, some of the stuff that they talked about, but it's interesting to get a different perspective. They were talking about the creator of One Piece, how because One Piece has been going for so long, there are people who are out there trying to come up with, theories about what One Piece is. And apparently there are many people who, based on the information the show had given, had figured out certain aspects as, who was going to be the Pirate King or who could be this or that. So much to the point that the creator started to hate seeing all the theorists out there that were basically predicting in his head where things were going to go. If you were creating a storyline and you had an idea in mind and people started guessing the direction you were going to go, would you want to keep going that direction, or would you want to try to figure out how to change it to keep people guessing and on their seats?
I don't know. And also, we kind of missed another question from Ross. Thank you for pointing it out that we missed it. Got a curious question because I want different opinions. Do you think when light novels that have long titles, should they be shortened for when they get an anime?
I'm
going to say that depends on the title. Because sometimes I take one look at an anime title and go, I'm absolutely not watching this.
I mean, there's a good example of that in the light novel that I've been reading with, how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom. The first 4 volumes of the light novel are just the rebuilding of the kingdom. From volume 5 on, it's maintaining what he built and progressing from there. So the rebuilding is done. So, and even in the light novel itself, they brought up the question of, should I change the title because he's no longer rebuilding the kingdom? So that's an interesting question. I mean, I know I shorten it by just saying realist hero, because you can just search up realist hero and you will get that title. Could they have gotten away with shortening it? Possibly. Would it still have the same effect? I don't know. I do agree that there are some titles out there, anime/light novel, that are just ridiculous. And some of it feels like it's just ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous. And I know Angela feels that way about some of them. Things like World End. What are you doing at the end of the world? Are you busy? Will you save us? Why do you need to have that as the whole title?
Exactly. That's exactly it.
You could just say World End. That's it.
I think you need a little more than that.
Or what are, okay, World End. What are you doing at the end of the world? And leave people guessing, well, what's this about?
I would honestly leave the title as, what are you doing at the end of the world? But that's just me. Some of these light novel titles are just so outlandish that it's too much.
World Break was another one. World Break, Aria of a Curse for Holy Swordsman. It was a great show. I really enjoyed the show. I liked both of them. Granted, World End, they, another dollaring in the Frank's case where they rushed the ending. They literally probably could have made that, a 20 episode anime and had it be 10 times better than what it was as a 12. I just feel like it almost felt like they ran out of money, so they had to just kind of hurry up and finish. And Ross says, Angela, look up the anime title with the word Backstabbing Dungeon level 999. Gotcha. I'm curious now, too. Should I be afraid?
Level 999. Backstabbed in a backwater dungeon?
Backstab in a backwater dungeon. My party tried to kill me, but thanks to an infinite gotcha, I got level 9,999 friends, and I'm out for revenge. That's the title.
Oh my god. You could have just left it as Backstabbed in a backwater dungeon. But that's annoying.
Why does that sound like it would be something I would at least give a couple episode try to?
And based on that title alone, I probably wouldn't.
And then it turns out to be something like Redo of Healer. He goes, yes, I made my point.
Yep.
What's your take on the long titles, Darren? Very insightful. Rosso, shorten the title because you just told the whole story. Yeah, some of it feels like you're getting the whole story in the title, especially when you're going that long. I don't feel like it needs to be that involved. But we are almost out of time. We got about 9 minutes left on the show. Like I mentioned before, next week we are supposed to be having a guest join us. VTuber Ira VT will be joining us. She's a Twitch streamer, recently just celebrated her 2-year anniversary of streaming. She tried to join us before, but had some issues that happened. So we're going to try it again, see if she's able to join us. I'll also reach out to Kaya Tianu to see if they're able to join us as well, because Kaya recommended Ira to us, and I've been enjoying her content when I've been able to catch her streams. And it's funny, a lot of times when I go in to watch Ira's stream, Kaya is in there already. So it's good to see the support for one another, and it'll be fun to have if we can get both of them on. And then coming up on the 7th, we have On Key Expo, a VTuber convention coming up in Danvers, Mass. I'm trying to look here. November 20th through 22nd of 2026 is going to be the On Key Expo. So next winter, basically. So it'll be fun having them on, about a year ahead of time to get an idea of what they're planning. I'm not familiar with VTubing or VTuber-centered conventions. It says that it's a VTuber-centered convention focused on creators, fans, tech, and industry collaboration. Panels, performance, cosplay, anime, networking events, and cutting-edge showcases. It's built by and for the community. Whether you're a VTuber, a fan, or a curious newcomer, OnKey is your gateway into the virtual frontier. So it sounds like it's going to be a very interesting thing. And I know that I've kind of delved into the VTuber rabbit hole a lot lately. So I think it's going to be kind of neat to view a new world. Kind of like some of the evolution of the show where we've gone all over the place with topics that we cover. And Ange, we got 7 minutes left in the show, and there's one topic we didn't go down the rabbit hole on.
Again. And you know what? I'm going to go back to... Yup, this is in fact payback for yesterday's train wreck of a ball game. End of the 8th, and the score is currently 7-2.
So it's not as bad of an ass whooping as the Red Sox gave them yesterday, but it's working towards it.
Yup.
I also have to ask, football season is right around the corner. Are you excited?
Ask me that in October. AKA ask me that when baseball's done. Until baseball season ends, no, this year I don't necessarily... The Patriots look like they're going to be shit.
Yeah. They look good in their first 2 preseason games, and then they played the Giants, and
well, enough said. It was on par with yesterday's baseball game.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, I want to see Kansas City get taken down a peg.
I think most of the country wants to see Kansas City taken down.
I get it. I get it. After a certain point, everyone else hated New England.
Oh, yeah. I can totally understand the hatred that New England got by 90% of the country. I just laugh that I don't feel like it ever got to the point that people had the hatred for Dallas.
Yeah, but the Cowboys haven't been relevant since the middle of the 90s.
But the hatred for Dallas still resides today. The Patriots have fallen back into crap, and people are like, oh, it's just the Patriots.
Well, yes, because the Patriots don't have a big rivalry like the NFC East.
Yeah.
The NFC East as a whole is just one big fucking rivalry.
And I think like opening day, you've got one of the bigger rivalries NFC East with Dallas and Philly. College kind of has started. And Ross says, according to his dad, football has already started. Pros have just finished their preseason. College I think, is
starting now.
Yeah, I think there were games this weekend.
I think you are correct.
In fact, there was a kicker for Hawaii who is originally from Japan. I saw a little article about this. Apparently, he came to the U.S., saw a football game, fell in love with the sport, so he went back to Japan and self-taught himself how to become a kicker by watching Seattle Seahawks game and studying their kicker. And it got to the point where he sent out, I think the article said over 50 demo reels of him kicking, and he ended up getting scouted by a community college, which then after a couple of years led him to going to Hawaii. And Hawaii had a situation in their game where it was a tie score with, seconds left in the game, and this Japanese player kicked the game-winning field goal for Hawaii. So that could be the next sports anime that we've come across. They finally got the bowling one for Darren, even though it really doesn't have much to do with bowling. Now they'll have an NFL-based one, different kind of football. They have a lot of soccer animes, but now they're going to have one about Japanese guy who plays in the NFL. If that happens.
And in 2 minutes, Ross is going to bring us back to food, which we've managed to avoid. And no, Ross, I don't know what you're referring to with Cracker Barrel. What now?
I don't know what he's referring to either. So I'm worried. And Ross also said, Angela, one of those days you need to watch Blue Lock anime.
Yep, that's another one that's on my watch list that I haven't gotten around to yet.
Ross also said, let me check if Darren's still here. I'm going to say a magic spell of his favorite genre. Darren, Elise Run Jewel from To Love Ru is better girl than Darkness and Rias in DxD. So I think Darren fell asleep.
I think you are correct.
But we're going to run just a couple minutes longer waiting to hear about Cracker Barrel. Ross says the CEO got rid of the guy and the cracker on the sign. It just plain they are making it modern day. So they are rebranding their logo.
Meh.
I've never really cared for Cracker Barrel anyway. But on that note, I hope everybody has a wonderful week. We will be back again Sunday with Era VT. Ross says, excuse me, got rid of the barrel, not cracker. From the Cracker Barrel sign. But we will be back again next Sunday with Era VT. Hopefully everything works out. And I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Until then, stay safe. Keep enjoying the shows. And we'll be back here for more Anime-Zing Radio right here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Have a great night, everyone.